Good morning, everyone. It's a grey 2nd of May. But yeah, overcast in Fife, a little bit warmer than it has been. This morning is a Zone 2 run. So for me, that's heart rate under 140. The plan is about 7k. Let's do it. So I'm about a kilometre in. Heart rate currently 129. Nice conversational pace. We're now looking over to the Crombie munitions depot, so it's where warships come and get resupplied. And now over towards the lime kilns. At one point these were the largest production site of lime in the world. So yeah, pretty impressive structure. Built into the cliffs. They used to transport limestone and coal and dump it in the top, and then take the lime out of the bottom, pop it in ships to go around the world. There's a good view of the lime kilns. Tomorrow's a rest day, so an extra mile or so today is really not going to hurt, he says, hopefully. Here we are a bit closer to Crombie now. So I'm currently actually running beside an old railway line, which is just down to my right here. It was a branch line to go to the arms depot. So yeah, line's still intact. However, the branch has been terminated further along the line. I think it would make an excellent cycle track. Heart rate currently at 123, 2.7 kn. So currently running alongside the Lynn Burn, a lovely little local barn, running through a sandstone gorge. We've got an old historic mill to my right here. Been signs of excavation for lime and that in the past. There's a heron just flown off there to the left. So yeah, a really beautiful stretch. Bad news is though, the burn's a bit more polluted than it should be. So the burn passes through most of the Dunfermline, and then just up above here there's large sewage works which services a lot of Dunfermline. And unfortunately the outfall from that does pollute the burn a lot more than it should. It's a bit of a shame, because this should be a real wildlife hotspot. Bluebell's out now. Yeah. Lovely. So one of the things I want to talk about is this channel, content wise, what's my motivation, what do I want to get out of it, you know, what do I want to contribute. That's 4.5k in, heart rate still about 128, something like that, so I'm pretty happy with that. Hadn't even really checked my pace, to be honest, but yeah, looking at it now, it's about a 6-minute kilometre. So, but to be honest, really not that interested in my pace. So, YouTube. Why? Well, I would say I've probably got quite a few reasons. Let's just briefly cover maybe the obvious but usually unspoken ones. There's I guess, an element of looking for validation if I'm, and you know, hopefully people might enjoy the content, might find it useful, and that sort of feedback mechanism's quite nice. You know, we all have our egos to contend with. I don't think I'm anything special as a runner. I don't think my journey's particularly unusual, but I'm pretty considered in what I do. I like to research, I like my data, I like to have my own personal insights, and that might be of interest to someone. So, and then that leads into what we might call evangelization. I think running's been a real great addition to my life. I didn't start off being a good runner. Morning. And when I started running, I really had no aspirations to run as far as I do. I just wanted to get a bit fitter, and I have. Other motivations, I mean, I'm probably not the most creative person. My wife and daughter are, you know, give them a blank sheet of paper and they can draw some pretty amazing things. Probably the most terrifying artistic endeavour for me is a blank sheet of paper. But I've always been interested in tech, science, things like that, and digital photography has interested me for a long time. And just photography in general. I mean, thinking back to high school, there was a sort of lunchtime photography club which I was part of briefly, and yeah, so very much the sort of science of the process. You know, Jen's a really good photographer. She's got a great eye and some great ideas. What she's not, she really struggles with the technical aspect of photography. So the whole apertures and exposure and ISOs, and whereas that side comes very naturally to me. It all kind of makes sense. I can think about the physics of it all. And then digital photography became an extension of that. You've got the techniques of taking a photo, a good photo in the first place, and there is, you know, there's artistry in taking a good photo and the composition and exposure and telling the story you want to tell. But then there's also the whole post-processing, the digital darkroom, and with my enjoyment of computers, yeah, it all seems to fit together. Morning lambs, morning sheep. Oh, sorry for disturbing your sleep. And then videography then has become an extension of that digital photography process. So again, you've got to think about the recording process, but then that post-production workflow and, you know, handling a video is just a whole new skill set. And you've got things like audio to consider, and so again, it's the art and the science, which I find interesting. And so for me, there's a skill to learn, and then extending the skills point, and my work in helping digital businesses optimize, and, you know, thinking about all the different strands that you need to pull on. And one of those is content strategy, and also in promotion of content and getting an audience. You know, and I know a lot of the theory, I maybe don't actually know a lot of the sort of theory of execution of some of the YouTube bits and pieces, but I'm trying to learn. I know more of the sort of strategy. So there is an element of personal life, YouTube channel, helping me have a greater appreciation for work. I've always had a philosophy of being able to do the things I evangelize other businesses to do. So, you know, talking about things like digital marketing, I've done a little bit of PPC and sort of pay-per-click on my own website in the past, just so as I had spent time on the tools and knew what everything meant. You know, my own website, I make sure it's as SEO optimized as possible, so that, you know, I'm practicing what I preach. And so this carries through to YouTube and content creation. But one of the things I would advocate for as a business is that you have a content strategy. So that begs the question, what is my content strategy? Well, I think I've got a few guiding principles. I quite like the diary format. I know that not every day is going to be amazing content, but it does allow me to create it's a framework for creating quite a lot of content and working out what works and what doesn't. So I think I'll stick with that just now. It does mean, you know, a fair amount of work on a daily basis. So I do need to work on efficient processes and workflows. Honesty and transparency is important to me. You know, I hope that there are middle-aged people like myself who are thinking, I really need to do something about my fitness, might see the content and think, yeah, here's someone who's not too dissimilar to me, and you know, he's been able to do it. So, you know, I think honesty and not trying to give the impression I'm some sort of Superman, because I'm really not. I've been persistent, but I have no latent running ability. Well, no more than anyone else, I should say. So yeah, that's really the kind of basis of the channel. And hopefully the content gets better. Anyway, it's going to get a bit noisy now. 6.5k in. Heart rate just over 140 actually. I've just come up a hill. So that's the run done. 7.5k, 43 minutes. That's 5:45 a kilometre and 453 calories burned. Yeah, nice to be out and nice that it's a little bit warmer. Definitely helps my breathing, I think. So tomorrow's a rest day, but just head back home just now. A little bit of mobility, just a quick kind of stretch off, and yeah, some dynamic mobility just for 10-15 minutes, and get on with the rest of the day. Okay, enjoy your Thursday.